Hey there, welcome in. We're going to do a power Vinyasa flow today, working on backbends and opening the chest, strengthening our back, opening up through our hips. We'll get into our legs a little bit and just have some fun. So make sure you listen to your body first and follow your breath. Those will be your greatest teachers. And so if you need to modify or intensify at any time, whether it's a pose or a transition, please add on or take away at any time. It's your practice. Do what's best for you. So I'll be giving you some options with transitions and poses and flows and sequences and whatnot, but you don't have to do it. So just listen to your body and do what's best for you. You're always welcome to take a break and sit in child's pose, or just sit on your mat or lay on your mat at any time. So let's get started. We'll need 2 blocks today. If you don't have blocks, that's okay. I'll give you options as to how to use other things in your house, like books or a storage box, anything that could take that you could sit on and would hold your weight, but is kind of like this shape, would be perfect. So to start off, we're going to actually use both blocks to get ready. So we're going to sit in hero's pose with you're going to be sitting on your knees. Your shins are going to be towards the ground, and you're going to take a block and you're going to put it between your ankles the long way so you could sit on it like a seat. All right, I'm going to turn around. You can also do it in a way where it's on the higher setting or the medium setting, but if you can, the lower setting would be great. You can also stack blocks so your hips are a little higher if it doesn't feel good to be on your knees or have that much pressure on your knees. All right, so let's get started. Sitting in hero's pose. You can always sit in easy pose or sukhasana with your legs crossed if you want, and then we'll go to hero's pose after we connect to our breath. So just, again, listening to what's best for you. Make any adjustments you need. Notice that you're even here on your mat and you're dedicating time to yourself. The most powerful part of your practice is the self-nurturing, the self-care, the noticing, the observing. So just recognize that you're doing that right now. Go ahead and extend your spine long. Crown of your head reaches up either towards the sky or the ceiling. And then you're going to take your shoulders up towards your ears. So you're going to shrug up, and then you're going to take your shoulders back and then bring them down your back. You'll feel broadness across your chest already. Go ahead and put your hands onto your lap, whether you place one hand on top of the other or palms down, palms up on your thighs. Gentle gaze down in front of you, or close your eyes. Notice what happens immediately once you close your eyes. Maybe your mind starts to wander, maybe your body starts to ache. These are all things that are very natural. Once we start calming ourselves, calming our mind, finding stillness, these little things will come up, and that's okay. We're just going to take a breath here and open your mouth, let it go. Feel your shoulder blades go down, your sit bones root down. Sit up tall, inhale. Exhale. Breath in. Feel your chest expand forward and back. And exhale, releasing back to neutral. Breath in. Feel your breath expanding towards your arms, so the sides of your body getting wide. And exhale, releasing. Breathe in. Notice how you expand up and down into your hips, up into your shoulders and down into your hips. And exhale, let it go. Take an inhale. Feel your chest expand in 360 degrees. And exhale, let it go. Follow your breath for a couple of rounds, making sure your spine is long, your core is slightly engaged to support yourself, and the crown of your head is reaching up with a slight tuck of your chin towards your chest. You'll feel a little length in the back of your neck when you do that. Maybe set an intention for your practice today if you choose to do so. Think of that intention and take a deep breath in. Keep that intention in your mind. Feel your breath go through your whole body, carrying that intention with you, solidifying it. And exhale, release what no longer serves you. Focus on your inhale, focus on your intention, inhale. And exhale, releasing all that's no longer needed. Continue to follow your breath, feeling your chest expand in all directions. And then take your chin towards your chest. Blink your eyes open if they were closed. And bring your head up back to neutral. Hands by your sides. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Keep your hands together in prayer. Inhale, reach up. Push hands together. Feel your chest engage. And exhale, hands push out and down. Just like that. Two more rounds. Inhale, arms reach up, palms point up and touch at the top. Exhale, push hands together as you bring your hands down to your chest. We're already starting to engage through our chest. Inhale, reach up, pushing hands together as you reach. And then exhale, palms point down as you push energy down. Make sure your spine is long, core is engaged. Inhale, arms reach out. Make sure you're not back bending here, so your tailbone is still pointing down or a little back, down and back. And exhale, hands to your heart. Last one here before we add on. Push hands together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands out and down. Now, if you're not in Hero's Pose yet, go ahead and come into Hero's Pose. Remember, you can use pillows or anything underneath you or blocks to lift you up. And the other block is going to sit just like this long way is going to lay right behind you on the ground. Maybe you can see like this. All right. And then from here, inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, left hand down, reach over to the right. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, twist to the right. I just realized I said the wrong side. Inhale, sit up tall. And exhale, rotate. Inhale, gently release, reach arms up. And then exhale, bring left hand behind you, lift hips up, and reach right arm overhead. And go ahead and sit back down. We'll continue that same side. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, left hand down, right arm reaches over to the left. There we go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the right, left hand, right knee, right hand behind you, sit up tall. And exhale, rotate. Inhale, release, arms reach up. Exhale, left hand down behind you, lift hips up, right arm reaches overhead. And exhale, sit back down. Two more on this side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, right arm reaches over to the left. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, release and reach. Exhale, back bend. Right arm stays up, left hand down. Exhale, sit down. Last round, this side. Inhale. And then exhale, right arm over to the left. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, up. And exhale, back bend, right arm reaches up. Hips push forward, squeeze glutes. And lower down. Let's do 4 rounds, left side. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, right hand down, left arm reaches over to the right. Inhale, up. Exhale, twist to the left. Right hand, left knee, left hand behind you, sit up tall. And exhale, rotate. Release, inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, right hand back behind you, lift hips, left arm reaches up and over. Big stretch on left side. Exhale, sit down. 3 more rounds. Inhale, reach up. Then exhale, right hand down, left arm reaches. Inhale, up. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale. And then exhale, right hand down, hips left, left arm reaches back behind you. And back down. Inhale. Exhale, left to the right. Breathe in. Twist to the left. Inhale, face forward, reach up. Exhale, right hand down, left arm reaches. Hips lift. Lower down. Inhale, last round. Right hand down, left arm reach. Lateral stretch on the left. Inhale, reach up. We're getting our spine in all directions here. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reach. Right hand down. Inhale, lift hips. Exhale, over. And release. Okay, go ahead and move the blocks out of the way. And we're going to find our way to tabletop position. We're going to start to warm up with a couple cat-cows, and then we're going to really get into the body and our core, getting into the quads. So hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze. Pull your chest forward as your shoulder blades go towards your hips. And then exhale, round your spine. Look at your navel. Really push into your hands. Take your navel up into your spine and tuck your tailbone. Inhale, drop belly, lift gaze. Push into the tops of your feet. Push into your hands. Keep that pushing down, and exhale, we round. Inhale, lift up. Lift chest up. And exhale, we round. Find a neutral position here. We're going to come to plank pose. So it is the beginning of class, so you can keep your knees down. Just make sure your tailbone's pointing down and not sticking back behind you. Or you can tuck your toes under and lift your legs here. This is a great option. But remember, knees can be down. In fact, I'm going to start here just to be sure to warm up properly. Spread your fingers wide. Pull your chest forward as you lift your chest away from the mat. So that's going to be a kind of a weird movement. As you lift your chest, you pull through, because once you pull your chest through, you're going to want to drop your chest. So keep your chest lifted as you pull it forward. One breath in. Squeeze elbows in, lower down all the way to the mat. Untuck your toes if they were tucked. Inhale, baby cobra. Squeeze elbows in, get the top of your back or your upper back working. Push tops of your feet in the mat. Feel your quads engage. You're going to do a lot of quad work today. Work and stretching in that area. And exhale, release. 2 more. Hands stay where they are, or you can extend them back behind you. Palms face towards one another. Inhale, lift. Squeeze arms together. Push tops of the feet down. Breathe, squeeze glutes, and gently release. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders again for a full cobra, or you're going to slide them back just slightly for a little bit more back work here. So push the tops of your feet into the mat. Push your hands down. Your hands should be by your ribs, your lower ribs. Squeeze elbows in and then lift your chest. You'll feel your whole back wake up completely. Now push the tops of your feet in your mat so your kneecaps will lift. And gently release here. Hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes under or push your knees into the mat. Lift up to plank. And let's just quickly find a child's pose. Let's sit back for a moment, just catching our breath. We're going to continue to move here. One more breath. And then hinge forward into tabletop position. Okay, so hands underneath your shoulders here, knees underneath your hips. You're going to tuck your toes under. This is where we're going to start warming up our quads and our core. You're going to bring your navel to your spine, so you want to keep a lot of length in your lower back by bringing your lower abs and your core towards your spine. All right, so that's going to put your pelvis into place. You're going to tuck your toes under, and then you're going to lift your knees off the mat. You'll feel your core wake up quite a bit, and there you'll notice your lower back wants to droop down. Keep your core engaged and lifting up towards your spine. From here, inhale. And then exhale, sit back towards your heels. Let's sit back all the way the first round. So you'll feel your hands are really pushing down and forward. And then your feet, you can feel the base of your big toes pushing into the mat. And we're going to keep that engagement. We're just going to lift our hips up a little higher, feel your legs engage, and then hinge forward, bear pose. And then sit back, prowler. Inhale, bear. Oh my gosh, quads. Exhale, sit back, prowler. 2 more. Forward bear. Exhale, prowler. Sit back. Inhale, forward. And exhale, back. Whoa. Inhale, forward. We're coming to plank. So you're going to extend your legs back. Oh my goodness. Feel your quads burning here. Push into the ground. Lift your chest away. But pull your chest forward. Legs are engaged. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend into your knees here. And walk out your dog. Sway your hips side to side. Whew. Notice how your quads are completely awake and engaged here. So bend your knees a lot. Allow your heels to lift off the mat. Push into your hands and push your hips up and back. Rotate your biceps towards your ears. So you're going to rotate your biceps forward. Head hangs heavy. And then you're going to try to straighten your legs from there. Glide forward into plank. And exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, we lower. You can bring your left forearm to the front of the mat so it's parallel to the front. Bend right knee, grab right foot. And then let's just pull it in towards our ankle, towards our hip. Find that stretch into our quad, and then push your left foot into the mat. You can lift your chest here, broaden across your chest. If you want to actually do more work, you can kick into your hand and you'll feel your quad wake up like we did in those bear prowler movements, but no need to do that here. Neck is long. Gently release, switch sides. Right forearm is parallel to the front. Grab left ankle. You can grab to the outside or inside. Doesn't matter to me in this moment. I would let you know if it did. So pull your foot in towards your hip here. Just looking for the stretch in the quad. Nothing big, just squeezing through your left glute so you can get the extra little bit into this quad stretch. So while we're here stretching, I'm just going to let you know our vinyasas are going to be a little different today. So when we go through our Surya Namaskar A's, our Sun A's, I'll walk you through it. Okay, gently release there. Hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes under, push up plank, and then downward facing dog. Oh, from here, inhale, look forward. Bend your knees and exhale, baby steps to the front of the mat. Feel the stretch going down the backs of your legs. From forward fold, inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, fold in. Let's do that again. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Pause here. Bring your shoulder blades down the back. Reach the crown of your head forward and take your inner thighs, rotate them back so you feel your sit bones go away from one another. Now hinge your weight forward into your toes and feel the backs of your legs engage a lot. And then exhale, fold in. Last one. Inhale, halfway lift, navel to spine. So you're bringing your core away from your thighs as you hinge your weight forward, shoulder blades down your back. Spread your sit bones away from one another. And exhale, fold in. Root down into your feet. Let's rise up. Reach your arms wide and high. And exhale, hands to your heart. Namaste equals standing. Feel your quads engage. Feel your chest lift. Shoulder blades down your back. Maybe gentle close of your eyes or a soft gaze down in front of you. Let's just pause for a moment. Lift your toes off the mat so you can feel the base of your big toes rooting down, and then spread your toes wide and then place them down onto the mat. Remember your intention. Remember why you're here. Self-care, self-love, making yourself a better person. Whatever it is, it's all good. Here we go. Very modified Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, arms reach out and up. Grab your left wrist, pull it over to the right. Hips go over to the left. Feel your core engage. Navel to spine. Inhale, reach up. Grab right wrist, pull it over to the left, hips over to the right. Navel to spine, squeeze glutes if you need to for support. Inhale, reach up, maybe look up this time. Exhale, back bend, push hips forward, chest is exposed up to the sky. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine, hands onto your shins or your thighs or the ground. Exhale, hands plant down, step back, plank pose. All right, here's where it gets funky. We're going to hinge forward, lower all the way down to the mat. Release your hands, untuck your toes, push the tops of your feet into the mat, lift your hands, lift your chest. Gently release, hands underneath your shoulders, keep the tops of your feet pushed down, squeeze elbows in, lift up, up dog. Push the tops of your feet so your quads are engaged. And then you can lower down, hips down first, and then lower all the way down to the mat. Tuck your toes, push up plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. So that's going to be our vinyasa for today. You can modify at any time. I will offer some intensifying or some ways to intensify that practice if you would like to try it. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees, travel to the front. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, fold it in. Root down into your feet, rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach up. Grab right wrist, pull it over to the left, exhale. Inhale, reach up. Grab left wrist, pull it over to the left, and exhale. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, back bend, goal post your arms. You may need a little bend in your knees. Push your hips forward, broaden across your chest. Squeeze your glutes. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, plant your hands, plank pose. Step back or jump back. Some people say don't jump back to plank, but it is an option if you feel okay in your shoulders. Hinge forward, squeeze elbows in, lower all the way down. Release your hands, lift up. You can lift your legs if you want in this position as well. Tops of feet push down, hands push down, lift up, up dog. Quads are engaged, thighs are off the mat. And then if you want, tuck your toes under, chaturanga lower. That's a way to intensify. Release, lift up. Hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, plank pose, exhale, and downward facing dog. Breathe here. We have 3 breaths. Knowing that your heels never have to touch the ground in this position. The goal is to keep the spine long with a slight back bend in your upper chest. So it's going to kind of be a little bit like up dog. Although your spine is pretty long, it's going to be a lot like cow pose. I guess up dog is kind of the same. So just keep that in mind as you find your downward facing dog. And inhale, look forward where you want your feet to go. Exhale, bend your knees at the bottom of your exhale. Make your way to the front. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold in. Root down, rise up. And then exhale, hands to your heart. Last round, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, arms reach up. Clasp your hands this time. Find steeple grip. So your index finger sticking out. You can have your thumb sticking out too, across your thumbs here, whatever feels good. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, over to the left. You'll find this way is a little bit different than the way we were doing it. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, over to the right. Hips over to the left. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, back bend. So squeeze your glutes, support your lower back, and then your hand's gonna go back behind you as your head looks up. A little bit more challenging of a back bend here. Gently release. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, plant your hands down, step back or jump back, plank pose. Hinge forward, lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck toes, find back bend in your, with your hands released. Hands down, up dog, push up. Tuck your toes under, lower down to the mat. Find a lift here, a back extension, maybe feet lift, maybe not. Gently release your hands. Inhale. As you exhale, push up all the way to plank, and then find your downward facing dog. Breathe here. Last breath. Inhale, look forward between your hands. Exhale, travel to the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Root down into your feet and let's rise up to standing. Exhale, hands to your heart. Bring your hands by your sides. Grab your blocks. You can do this without a block as well. If you also have like one of those little exercise balls, you can use that as well between your thighs. So you're going to take one block, you're going to put it between your thighs on the higher side, and you should be able to squeeze the block between your thighs. If you have one of those thinner blocks or a book, you're going to put it between your knees, and that could be helpful there. So just try and find what works for you. Take the second block. This is where it gets fun. We're going to put the block between our hands here. So on the sides, we're going to put our hands here. All right, so I'm going to turn towards the camera so you can see. However, you can just stay facing towards the front of the mat. Okay, so feet are going to be underneath your hips, hands by your sides, or excuse me, hands going to be in front of you with the palms on the blocks. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, sit back. And as you sit back, you're going to bring your block to your chest. And then you're going to rotate your fingers forward. And then inhale, push into the block a lot. Elbows are high. And you're going to extend the block forward. Feel your chest engage. And then exhale, pull it in. Rotate fingers up. Inhale, stand. And then exhale, sit right back down. Squeeze the block in your thighs. Hands come to your heart, pushing into the block here. Rotate fingers forward. Inhale. Reach as far forward as you can. Exhale, squeeze both blocks here. Rotate fingers up and inhale. We rise. You should feel your shoulders, your chest, and your thighs engage. Inhale. Exhale, sit down, bring block to chest. Rotate fingers forward and push forward. I wish you guys could see this. I'm watching a hummingbird drink food. It's really cool. And then exhale, hands to your heart. And inhale, we stand, arms overhead. Keep pushing the block even as you reach your arms overhead. Inhale. Exhale, sit down. Rotate palms forward. Inhale here. Exhale back. Woo, I am shaking. I hope you are too. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sit down. 2 more. Squeeze block. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, squeeze back. Inhale up. Last one. Exhale, sit down, squeeze both blocks. Inhale, push forward. And exhale, pull back. So you really should be pushing both ways. Inhale, rise. And then release both blocks here. Should feel really good. Shake out your legs. These particular blocks that are cork are a little heavier, so if you want a little bit more of a challenge in the future, look for some of those cork ones because they're a pound or two, I don't know, maybe even heavier. So just keep an eye on that if you are looking for something a little bit more. All right, so we're going to keep our right leg forward, hands up to our hips. We're going to bring our left foot into stork pose, so find this standing position here, single leg balance pose. Hands stay at your hips. You're going to hinge your chest forward as you kick your left leg back. So left leg doesn't necessarily have to be straight. I just want it behind you a little bit. We're going to focus on the right leg and we're going to bend into our right leg here, and then we're going to step left foot back. Rotate left foot down for warrior one. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands push together and then reach forward. Feel your front leg completely wake up. So you should have one line of energy from your fingertips all the way to your heel. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands behind your back. Straighten your back leg a lot. Open your chest here. Push into your front knee. Gently release. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to your hips, hinge forward, unplug back heel. We're coming out the same way we came in, lift up, and then we're going to come to standing stork pose. And foot comes down. Second side, left foot plants. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right leg kicks back. I don't know if you can hear this, but there is like a lawnmower in somebody's yard that is like making the weirdest noise. From here, bend into your standing leg, step back, and then rotate right foot down for warrior one. Arms reach up, inhale. Exhale, hands touch, reach forward, straighten back leg. Really push through your back heel, find the stretch into the calf. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands behind your back, open your chest. Gently release, inhale. And exhale, hands down to the mat. Make your way through a vinyasa. Go ahead and do traditional if you want to follow me. Hinge forward, lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck your toes, chest, lift your legs. Gently releasing here. We're going to lift up to up dog. Pushing into tops of our feet. And then untucking toes, lowering all the way down. Find that lift, the back extension, Shalabhasana. Gently release, tuck your toes, inhale. Exhale, push up. And then sit back, downward facing dog. From here, we're just gonna bring our right foot forward to the front of the mat. We're gonna rotate our back foot down, then we're gonna rise up like we're coming to warrior two, but we're just gonna keep our legs straight. We're gonna rotate both feet to the side of the mat. From here, we're going to get into our hips and our inner thighs a little bit more. So you can keep your hands at your hips. You can also do your arms overhead, out to side, or to your heart. It doesn't matter. Just find what works for you. I'm going to be demonstrating with hands onto my hips. From here, we're going to hinge over to the right. We're going to push into our right heel and sit back. Sit our hip back into our right heel. Come to standing. And then exhale over to the left. Feel the stretch on the right thigh. That's part of the practice. And then push your left knee out to help support, but push into the base of your big toe. So it's kind of a funky movement. From here, heels in, toes out, squat down. Gotta squat so your shoulders are over your hips. You're gonna really have to tuck your tailbone under. Stand. Feet are parallel. Sit over to the right. Feet can be slightly at a V. Push into your right heel, right knee pushes out as your big toe pushes down. Come to standing, second side to the left. Push into your heel, left knee out as right toe pushes down. Excuse me, left toe pushes down. Toes out, heels in, squat. And here we go. Sit over to the right. feel the stretch on the left, stand. Over to the left, feel stretch on the right, stand. Heels out, toes in, squat. Yes. Continue, find your own rhythm. Make sure you're feeling your foot, your weight into your heel, and your glute engage as you go side to side. Just continue here. Two more on each side, so 2 more rounds. So you'll be doing 2 more goddess squats. And here, last one. And stand. Right foot is going to be parallel to the front. Left toes point back to the back. Arms to a T. And then start to hinge forward so you feel the back of your left leg wake up quite a bit with a stretch. Then you're going to rotate your arms 6 and 12 o'clock. Look down at your left foot. Make sure it's flat and not rolling out or in. That'll help you find the stretch. And then from here, hold, that's great. You can also take a bind by taking your right hand onto your left hip or thigh. Or if you want to follow me, we're gonna do arm circles. Getting into our shoulder. You're welcome to also hold onto your shoulder with your hand and do circles. Sometimes that feels better. Make sure you're squeezing your right glute. Spine is long. If you're doing circles, rotate opposite direction. So we're just opening our chest a little differently. We've been doing a lot of chest work. We haven't really done a lot of stretching in through our chest. So this is helping us to open up. Then reach up. Bring your hand to your top hip. And then we're going to rise, just standing. Left foot parallel to the back of the mat. Right toes face to the back. Arms to a T. Squeeze into left glute, reach right arm forward, and then rotate 6 and 12 o'clock. Here comes an airplane. So good. All right, so stay here. Make sure your front foot is flat. I'm gonna hold out from talking because it's airplane. And start to find circles. And rotate. Find your triangle position. Squeeze left glute. Hand to your upper hip and then rise. You're gonna rotate your hands down to the mat, find your vinyasa, and make your way to downward facing dog. Lower down. Find your back extension if you want to follow me in this version of vinyasa. Up dog. Tuck toes. Lower down. Find your back extension. Hands down. Push up. And downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up and back. Flex your foot. Exhale. Left heel comes down. Inhale, right leg lifts a little higher. And exhale, hinge forward into plank. Bring your right knee to your chest. And then step your right foot between your hands. Squeeze your hips in towards one another. Arms up, crescent lunge. So I want your pelvis in place. So if you notice your tailbone is sticking way back and you're already in a back bend, you can walk your back foot forward a little bit, bend your back knee, then bring your pelvis in place, meaning top of pelvis lifts back, bottom pelvis pushes forward. From here, arms reach up. Squeeze hips together. Find your breath. And then clasp your hands behind your back, open your chest. This is where you can do that back bend version where your tailbone sticks out a little bit. Just make sure you're pushing your left hip forward to support your lower back. Gently release, inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Keep left hand down, reach right arm up. Now listen here. We're gonna rotate so we go to the pinky toe edge of both feet. We're gonna drop our left hip down to the mat. We're gonna reach our right arm back behind us. From here, keep everything as is, just lift your hips and reach your right arm overhead. And then lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one. Inhale, lift. And then exhale. Actually, not last one. Lower. Inhale, lift. And then rotate so you're again in that open arm crescent twist here, or revolved extended side angle. And then we're going to go to side plank. So you can keep you can rotate and bring both feet back, or if you want to follow me, take your peace fingers around your front big toe. You're going to rotate to the pinky toe edge of your back foot, and then you're going to lift your front leg up. Breathing here. Maybe releasing, keeping right leg lifted. And then find a wild thing. Right leg back, right arm reaches back and over. If Urdhva Dhanurasana is in your practice from this position, go ahead and go into it. And then everybody back to side plank. Make sure your hips are stacked, shoulders are stacked. And then Vinyasa, maybe keeping right leg lifted. Lower down all the way to the mat. Find your back extension. And up dog. Tuck toes, lower down. Back extension. Push up to plank. And downward facing dog. All right, here we go, second side. Inhale, left leg up and back, flex your foot, toes point down, and exhale, right heel comes down to the mat. Inhale, lift left leg a little higher, straighten that leg, and exhale, left knee to your chest, hinge forward, step your foot between your hands, squeeze hips together, rise to crescent. From here, arms reach up. Remember, back knee can be bent so you can get your pelvis in place to help support lower back and find stretch in the right spots. Breathe in. Hand out. Hands behind your back. Clasp your hands. Inhale, open your chest. Push your right hip forward so you get that support in your lower back so you can find a deeper back bend comfortably and safely. Gently release, arms reach up. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Keep right hand down this time. Lift left arm up. Deep breath in. And then on your exhale, we're going to rotate to the pinky toe edge of both feet and reach your left arm back. Ooh. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, two more. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Find revolved crescent or revolved extended side angle. You're gonna again go to side plank or pinky toe edge around, or excuse me, peace fingers around your left big toe, rotating to side plank this way. Breathe. Find a spot in front of you to focus on. Gently release your leg. Find side plank. And then left foot taps down behind you as you find wild thing. Again, Urdhva Dhanurasana or will pose is an option here if you know that transition and know how to do it safely. Breathing. Lift hips higher, squeeze thighs together, and then come back to side plank. Hips and shoulders stack, and then find your vinyasa. Hinge forward, lower all the way down. Find your back extension. Hands down, up dog. Tuck toes, lower down. Extension. Hands flat, inhale. And exhale, lift up. Downward facing dog. Connect to your breath. Breathe deep and slow. So the slower you control your breath, or the slower you make your breath, the more in control you are of your breath, and that's the goal. Have control. Our breath is really interesting because it's voluntary and involuntary. So we're working on that voluntary part and how to function and work with our breath rather than have it be in control and involuntary. Inhale, look forward, bend your knees. Exhale, make your way to the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it in. Root down into your feet. Let's rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart. All right, we're going to do a quick dancer before we go into camel pose. So feel your left foot onto the mat. Let's bring our left hand onto our hip. You're going to take your right hand. I'm going to turn towards you so you can see a little bit more, but you can continue facing forward. You're going to put your right hand out like you're holding a tray of food. From here, bring your right foot back, grab onto your right ankle, extend left arm up. You can just hang out here and just kick into your hand, but make sure you're pushing your right hip forward as well if you do that. Or you kick into your right hand and start to hinge forward. Once you can't kick into your hands anymore, then you hinge forward. Finding any sort of mudra with your front hand, touching any finger that feels appropriate, or just having your hand flat. Some people like to reach their hand down. Breathing here. Make sure your right hip is rotating down and not opening out to the side. 2 more breaths. Start to come out the way you came in. Continue to kick into your hands to find that support and balance. And then gently release. Second side. Right foot plants down, right hand to right hip. Left arm is going to be to your side, like you're holding a tray of food. And then you're going to bend your foot, or bend your knee, grab onto your ankle. And from here, you can just hang out here. This is great. And remember, you're just going to push your left hip forward as you kick into your left hand. It's a great option. Or you can follow me. Right arm reaches up. Kick into your hand first. And you'll notice you'll start to hinge, but it's more about the back bend. And then once you can't kick anymore, then you're going to hinge forward. Make sure your left hip is rotating down towards the ground. Breathe. You can look down or in front. Just find a spot in front of you that's not moving. And then again, if you found a mudra on the other hand, go ahead and do that. A lot of people like to do thumb and index fingers, so if that feels comfortable, you can do that. And then let's slowly come out the way we came in and gently release. Shake out your legs. Ooh, limp noodle dance, one of my favorite dances. All right, shake it all out. All right, now we're coming to camel pose. So you will possibly need a block for this. So let's just come down, nothing fancy, just come down onto your mat. I'm going to be rotating towards the camera, but you can just stay facing forward. So in camel pose, there's lots of options. The pose itself is going to be a big push forward, engagement into our glutes, and an opening into our chest. We're going to grab back towards our feet, or we're going to keep our hands onto our hips. If that's not an option for you today, you can sit in hero's pose like we were earlier today. You can clasp your hands behind your back and open your chest this way. You can also bring your hands down and open your chest this way. Totally good. You just won't get the stretch in the hips. If you want the stretch in your hips but not the big back bend, just grab the hands behind your back and open your chest and squeeze glutes. You'll get all that you need here. If you want to follow me in the full expression, you might want to block between your thighs. Everybody might want to block between their thighs because it's going to help to engage inner thighs and get into your lower back, okay? Or support your lower back, I should say. So the short way between your thighs, then the thinner way between your thighs, okay? So from here, If you've done this before and you know you have the flexibility, you're going to push the tops of your feet down. Otherwise, your toes are going to be tucked here because it lifts your heels a little higher, which will be supportive once we start back bending. All right, hands onto your back, lower back. So your fingers don't even point down to the side or up. This is really a preference. Doesn't matter. So I personally just kind of do whatever every time. That's a little different. So just find what works for you. First, squeeze the block. Squeeze your glutes. Remember, if you don't have a block, that's fine. Just act like you have a block between your thighs. Squeeze your glutes. Notice how your hips are secure and solid. Hands to your lower back. And then from here, you're going to start to bring your elbows back behind you as you take the base of your shoulder blades and lift them up. So you're using your back to stretch the front of your body. So you're pushing your shoulder blades up towards the sky, right? The base of your shoulder blades up towards the sky. And then you're going to hinge back, push hips forward, squeeze block. And then maybe one hand comes back and maybe the other one hand comes back, or maybe not. Maybe you stay in an upright position. But if you are down where your hands are on your heels, you're going to squeeze block, engage glutes, push hips forward, and notice how you can maybe extend your head back, maybe drop it back, only if that's okay in your neck. Breathe here. If you can, untuck your toes, push the tops of your feet into the mat. Push hips together, squeeze glutes. Breathe. Two more breaths. And then to come out, you're going to bring one hand to your lower back. Keep your head falling back if you have that. Other hand to your lower back. Lift your chest. Head is last to lift. And then sit back onto your heels. Maybe block underneath your sit bones between your ankles. Let's just sit for a moment. Connect to your breath. Going into a big back bend like that could bring up a lot of emotion. You may feel chaos in your body. Your nervous system is really awake right now. Just let everything calm down. Catch your breath. If you get dizzy or nauseous in that pose, which I do sometimes, that could mean you're just stretching a little too much up here in the collarbone area. It could cause you to, your blood sugar to drop, your blood pressure to drop a little bit. So just notice if you're feeling that sensation. And then just remember that for next time, just to not go as deep. So come onto your hands and knees, tabletop. Let's counteract that camel pose. So we're going to drop our belly, lift our gaze. This is going to feel a lot like camel here, but then we're going to do exhale, round our spine. Look at our navel. Really tuck your tailbone under, and this should feel really good after that deep back bend. Inhale, drop belly, lift gaze. Exhale, round. Really round. Spread your shoulder blades away from one another. Feel your tailbone reaching down towards the ground. Inhale, back bend. And exhale, round. Tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. We're coming to pigeon pose here. So if you need to, you can do seated figure 4 or figure 4 on your back. Inhale, right leg up and back. Squeeze your hips together, squeeze inner thighs. Exhale, bring your right knee to your right elbow and then slide it down to your wrist and rotate right foot over to the left, slide left leg back. Oh. I'm gonna slide forward a little bit. All right, from here, bring your hands by your hips. If that feels okay, you'll feel a big stretch into your left hip, and make sure your left hip is rotating down. Elbows back, inhale, open your chest. And then exhale, either hands down or fold forward. I'm also gonna give the option of king pigeon pose, or not king pigeon, just a mermaid pose. So you're gonna bend into your left knee. If you want to take this version, you can just do a resting pigeon. That's totally fine. Or sleeping pigeon, I think it's called, if you're laying down. If you want to go into the back bend part, you're going to bend your left leg. You're going to grab onto the left foot with your left hand, and you're just going to pull it in. You can hang out here. You bring your fingertips in the same direction as your toes, and then you can rotate your hand around and push down. So now your palm, the base of your palm is pushing onto your toes. That's an option. If you want to, you can take your foot into the crease of your elbow and bring your hand towards your head and then squeeze hips together. Right hand comes back, grabs your hand and opens here. Whoa! Squeeze hips for support. It's not for every day, right? And breathe. Relax the tension in your shoulders. Relax your jaw. Last breath here. And then place your hands underneath your shoulders, rise. And if you have a grab of your left foot, gently release. So from here, stay in pigeon. Hands underneath your shoulders. You're going to tuck your back toes under and walk them forward a little bit so your shoulders are over your wrists and you feel like you can really support yourself and lift up with your back foot. And then we're going to take our right knee to our elbow and then extend back, three-legged dog, and lower down to the mat. Inhale, left leg lifts up and back, foot is flexed. Exhale, left knee to left elbow, slide it down to your wrist and rotate your foot over to the right. Extend right leg behind you, open chest. Bring your hands by your hips. Make sure your right hip is rotating down towards the mat, not out towards the right. And then if you'd like, fold forward into your resting pigeon or bend into your right knee. Right hand comes back and grabs your right foot and pulls it in. You can hold here, this is great. You can also put, I didn't say this on the other side, but you can put a block underneath your hand to support you. Otherwise, you're welcome to find that variation. Fingertips point up. As you push your hand down, you're going to rotate your palm so your fingers are pointing in the opposite direction and you're pushing down with the base of your palm. Or bring your foot into your elbow, hand towards your head, and then take your left hand and grab onto your right. And breathe here. Squeeze hips in so you have support. So it is an active pose, but you are getting very deep stretch on both sides. And just notice where you're holding tension, if at all. Common places in this position would be your hips. So gently relax in through your hips. Check in with your shoulders, your jaw. Maybe your forehead is scrunching up or you're making some sort of facial expression. Just relax. The more you breathe and the more you relax, the less intense the stretch will feel. The stretch, that sensation won't go away, but it will become less intense because we surrender to it. Let's surrender into the pose. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your right toes under, walk them forward so you feel more support. You're not so open into your hip. And then here we go. We're coming into plank with our left knee to our left elbow. Extend back, three-legged dog. And then foot comes down, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, find your way to a seated position on your mat. And then from here, let's come onto our backs. Hands by your sides, feet underneath your knees, push into your heels, lift your hips. Feel your glutes engage, feel the stretch in the front of your body. What this is doing is reactivating our lower back in case we've stretched it and loosened it up a little bit in our practice. So we're just reactivating our core muscles, our glutes, so we're supported once we leave our mat. Breathe in, tuck tailbone, exhale, roll down. Knees in tabletop position, flex your feet. Hands are going to go out to the side. We're going to rotate our legs side to side. So you can use this as a core workout, or you can just use it as just supportive movement in through your core. So side to side, if you want to do the core movement, you're going to keep both knees in line with one another as you rotate side to side. So one hip will really lift off the mat, and you'll notice your obliques will engage. Otherwise, if you don't want to do the work, just let your knees separate and go side to side at any depth. And then next time your knees are over to the left, you're just going to let your knees drape in that direction. You're going to hang out there. You could do a couple of different things. You can straighten both legs. You can straighten your top leg and grab it with your top leg, your right leg, grab it with your left hand. And then if you want, you can grab your left foot with your right hand. So you're really twisted. You can also extend right leg long. You can also stack both knees like we started, or any other variation. That sounds good. You can cross your legs for an eagle twist. Notice that the work of your practice is done, and you can just now relax and stretch. Bring your knees back together. Feet are going to plant on the mat. Hips are solid on the mat. Bring your feet back into tabletop position. Arms out to a T, side to side. Rotate your knees side to side. We're just going to do a couple just because we came in to the previous twist this way. We want to come to this twist the same. Next time your knees are over to the right, you're just going to let them drape and fall over that direction for the twist. Finding the variation you did on the other side, or maybe something different. So extending both legs, extending the top leg, bending the bottom leg, stacking both knees, or any other variation, maybe eagle legs or figure four legs. There's a hawk flying overhead right now. It's pretty cool. If you ever get to practice outside, oh my gosh, please do so. It's such an amazing practice, you know, no matter where you do it, but just to be outside with nature really helps to ground and clear the mind. Feel your back body on the mat. Notice your breath. And then stack your knees, feet back onto the mat. Bring your feet wide on the mat and the knees in towards one another. Bring your hands onto your belly. Or if you want, you can give yourself a little squeeze, a little hug here. Thanking yourself for nurturing yourself and just loving yourself. Loving yourself like only you can do. Nobody else can do what you do for yourself. You are the most powerful person in your life. Sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit with what we're capable of, but just know in this moment you are so much stronger than your mind tells you you are. You're so much more powerful than your mind tells you you are. And if your mind tells you you're super powerful, how cool is that? Acknowledge yourself for that. Releasing any tension in your lower back. Just allow your body to settle here. And then start to make your way to Shavasana. Legs could be long on the mat, arms by your sides, feet together, knees out wide, or just stay in the position you are in. I'm going to come to a seated position. My suggestion would be staying on your back. We'll do a couple deep breaths together before I'll send you on your way. So find that position that's just best for you today, that you can really surrender and let go. Acknowledging whatever that is. It doesn't have to be balanced in your body in any way. It doesn't have to make sense at all. Just allow it to be what it is. We'll take about 3 breaths together before we release the control of our breath and relax in Shavasana. So start to breathe in and notice how your chest expands forward and back. Pause your breath at the top. Relax through your shoulders and exhale. Let it go. Completely empty your lungs. Pause. Breath in. Feel your breath go towards your arms, reaching out towards your sides of the body. Pausing at the top. Then exhale, gently releasing, surrendering, coming back to neutral. Inhale, feel your breath reaching up towards your shoulders, towards your hips. Gentle pause. Exhale, release, and let it go. Inhale, feel your chest expand in all directions. Pause. And exhale, let it go. Feel your jaw relax, your shoulders. You lay completely heavy on your mat. Take a breath in. And open your mouth, sigh it out, let it go. Enjoy your Shavasana. Thank you for joining in today. Namaste.